Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to learn how to crochet this top. It's a very simple tutorial. Please, if you find this tutorial useful, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So now let's get started. Okay, we will need scissors, and I'm using 4mm crochet hook, stitch markers and a darning needle to weave in the ends. I'll be using Alice in this color. You can use any yarn of your choice. And I'll be using one skein for my own size. I'll be making it in size small. You can use any yarn of your choice, and you can even use the recommended hook for your yarn. Okay, for my own top, I will chain 31. This is how long your top will be, depends on the amount of chains you make. So I'm going to chain 31. You can go ahead and chain any amount you want, how long you want your top to be. So I'll go ahead and chain 31 for my top. Adjust your own the way you want. If you want it short or long, you can adjust your foundation chains. So go ahead and make your foundation chain, and I'll meet you back at the end so that we'll start the first round for this top. Alright, to start the first round, after you get the amount of chains you want, we are going to work into the back loops of our foundation chains. As you can see, flip your work and then yarn over, skip the first stitch into the next one, pull up a loop from this stitch, and then you make half double crochet. Put a stitch marker where we have just worked. The skip chain does not count as a stitch at the ending of our round. So where we just work, put a stitch marker in there. Then you will make another half double crochet into the next stitch, working into the back loop only. And then work into the next stitch, half double crochet. Work half double crochet into the back loop only until you reach at the last, until you have one stitch remain. But if you think that this is a little bit hard for you to work it this way, you can work it the normal way. Alright, this is the last. I have one stitch remain here, and then I'll go into that last stitch. I'll make half double crochet into that last stitch, and then you yarn over into that same stitch, make a half double crochet, chain one. This chain one does not count as a stitch. Throw out our work into that same stitch, make half double crochet. Now take your stitch marker and put it on the chain one we just make, so that at the end, when you want to start the next round, you will not walk into that stitch because it's just a chain one. It does not count as a stitch. And then you yarn over into that same stitch, make another half double crochet. So now we have 4 into one stitch. So now you will walk into every stitch, walk over this little tail of yarn that you have into the next stitch, make half double crochet, go on to both loops, and then you work half double crochet into every stitch until you reach your stitch marker, and I'll meet it back at the end. This is how first round is looking like. Remove your stitch marker. This is where we first work our first stitch. So go into that stitch and work your last half double crochet. Now you will chain one. Chain one does not count as a stitch. Turn your work, skip that chain one. Into the next stitch, you will work half double crochet. Go onto both loops. Put your stitch marker in there so you will know where you stop later for the next round. Work half double crochet into every stitch until you reach where your stitch marker is, and I'll meet it back there. Or when you reach where your stitch marker is, there is one stitch before we reach our stitch marker. We are going to work into it. Now that stitch marker, remove it. You are not going to work into that stitch. There is a space in between that where our stitch marker is coming from. There we are going to make increase. Put half double crochet, another half double crochet into that same space, and then you will chain one. It doesn't count as a stitch. Yarn over, make half double crochet into that same stitch, and then into that same space make half double crochet. So put your stitch marker into your chain one so that the next round you will not mistakenly walk into that chain one, because it does not count as a stitch throughout our work. The next round we are just going to make an increase into that little space that we have. Now after making your increase into the next stitch, make half double crochet, and then to every stitch around make half double crochet until you reach your last stitch, and I'll meet you back at the end. This is how our round is looking like, and after you reach at the end, you will chain one. It does not count as a stitch. Turn your work, skip that chain one, and then make half double crochet into the next stitch, and then you work half double crochet into every stitch until you reach your chain space, and then we are going to make increase. So we'll keep on making increase until you have the almost the size of your breast area, and then we are going to make 4 rounds of an increase, or if you want to make more rounds, depends on the size you wear. So I'll keep on repeating this round 1 and 2. When you reach this space, make increase, remove your stitch marker, don't walk into that chain 1, make an increase into that little space. You put 2 half double crochet, chain 1, 2 half double crochet. And then make half double crochet into the next stitch until you reach the end of this round. So I will repeat this method now. I'll keep on making an increase until I have about 7 rounds, and I'm going to make 4 rounds of increase. So as you walk, put this bra cup over your chest and see that you are getting the size you want. And I'll meet you back at the end to start our increase. So this is my first bra cup. I already finished working on it. It's just the same thing that's they are identical. So I'm going to make an increase for the next bra cup. You're going to do the same thing for the other bra cup. They are both the same. I'm only going to make 4 rounds of an increase. So this is what I have got so far after making more increase. I have about 7 rounds. So this next round now, I'm going to start my increase by putting 2 half double crochet into the last stitch, then chain 1 and then turn your work. And then when you turn your work yarn over, skip the chain 1 into that first stitch, make an increase, put 2 half double crochet into that first stitch. So now I'm going to make half double crochet into every stitch, and I'm going to make an increase at the top, like how I start this. I'll repeat this, and when I reach at the top, I'll make an increase, and then when I reach down here, I'm just making an increase at one side of my bra cup. The other side does not have any increase. So when you put your 1 half double crochet, chain 1 and then turn your work, and then skip your chain 1, make half double crochet into every stitch. When you reach at the top, make your increase until you reach your increase part at the bottom of your bra cup, and then you're going to make another increase. So like I said, I'm going to make 4 rounds of increase. I already have 2, and this is going to be my round 3 of an increase. When I reach at the bottom, I'm going to make 2 half double crochet into 1 stitch. Like I said, if you want to make more increase, just the more rounds you make, you just be placing this bra cup over your chest, and you see that it's okay for your size, and then you can stop at any point. So this is my last round of an increase. Like I said, just 4 rounds increase that I make. Alright, this is the end of my bra cup, and this is what I want. This is the size I have. This is the size that is okay for me. So I'm going to stop at this point now, and then we are going to work this side for our back side, just like the first one. I already did the first bra cup. This is what it looks like. So after you get the size you want for your bra cup, we are going to start working on the side. So for mine, I'm going to go in with 21 chains. This is the measurement from the bottom of my top to my underarm. I'm going to work half double crochet until I have 21 chains. Put a stitch marker, and this is the same amount I have for the other bra cup. So make sure you have the same equal amount for both bra cups. So I'm just going to work half double crochet until I have 21, the same I have for the other bra cup. When I reach the last, I'll remove my stitch marker and put my last half double crochet. And then I'll chain 1 and turn my work. Skip your chain 1, and then make half double crochet into every stitch until you reach the last stitch, and you should still have the same amount of stitches you have. As I have 21, I'll still have 21, no increase, no decrease. and I'll do this until I have the same amount of rows I have for the first bra cup. Chain one, and then you turn, skip your chain one, and then make half double crochet into the next stitch. I'll do this until I have the same rounds I have for the first one. And I'll meet it back at the end. So as you can see, I'm just going to keep on working until I have the same amount of rounds I have here, which is about 8 rounds here I have. So we are going to do, I'm going to keep on doing this until I have the same amount I have, and then we are going to work for the strap holes. So I already did mine, as you can see. So we are going to start working on the strap holes. So when you have the desired amount of rounds you want for your back panel, you are going to chain 2 and then turn your work, skip 2 chains and then make single crochet into the next stitch, and then single crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then you're going to work single crochet into the next and single crochet into the next. Repeat this until you reach at the end of your work. And when you finish, you will chain 1 and then turn your work. Chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Skip the chain 1 and then make a single crochet into the next single crochet and then single into the next stitch. And then when you reach your chain 2 space, make a single crochet into that space and then another single crochet into that space, and then single crochet into the next single crochet, and then single into the next one. Repeat this until you reach your starting point, and I'll meet you back at the end. Alright, this is how it looks like after reaching the end. Now we are going to work the side of our panel. Chain 1, when you reach the last stitch, into that first stitch, make a single crochet. And we are going to put single crochet into every stitch that we have. So whatever amount of chain rounds you make, you'll put single crochet into every chain, every stitch that you have. And then put single crochet into this space that we have. So after I finish working at the top of this panel, we are going to work now single crochet into every stitch until I reach at the top, and then we are going to start working on the strap. So now this side you can see the stitches clear, so just work single crochet into every stitch at this side until you reach at the top of your bra cup, and I'll meet you back at the end to start the strap. Alright, when you reach at the top of your work, remove the stitch marker, we don't need it anymore. Into that space, go in there and make a single crochet. So okay, now you can adjust the bra cap, sorry, the strap, and but I would say you should not make it too long because it will be stretchy. So I'm going to make 50 foundation chains for my bra cap. You can adjust yours. Like I said, don't make it too long so that it will not be too stretchy, because when you finish it will stretch. So after you have the amount you have, I have 50 with me, we are going to connect it at the back, our back panel. We are going to connect it into 2 stitches at the back. So into that stitch, go in there and pull up a yarn through that stitch and make a slip stitch. So like the strap, we are going to work it the same way we start our bra caps, by working into the back loop of our bra cap. Sorry, this color here is not so clear, but we'll be working it into the back loop, just like we start the bra cap, working into the back loop. Go into your back loop of your foundation chains for the strap, and then you're going to pull up a yarn into the next stitch and then make single crochet. Now from here, now we are going to work into the back loop, going into the back loop only, and then make single crochet. Just go into the back loop of every stitch. As you can see, this first back up is the same thing. Both are identical. We are working everything the same, as you can see. So just go into the back loop of every stitch until you finish working the amount of chains you make for your strap, and then I'll meet you back at the end. Alright, when you finish working your strap, make single crochet into the next stitch, and then single crochet into every stitch until you reach the end of your bra cap, and then you will cut off the yarn and weave in the ends of your yarn. Both panels are worked the same. Like I say, when you finish working the one, you also repeat the same thing you did for the first one and then work the other panel. So when you finish working, chain one and then cut off the yarn, weave in the end using your darning needle. So make 2 panels for this, and then we are going to work on the back strap. I already have two of my panels, so repeat the same thing for this, and I'll meet you back at the end so that we can join these together and work on the back straps together. Okay, we are going to work the back strap. I'm using 5mm, and I'll be using 2 strands of yarn to make my back strap. I'll just make long foundation chains. So I'll chain as long as I want my back strap to be, the back lace. So just make long foundation chains using 2 strands of yarn. So I'll repeat this until I have the length I want for my back lace, and I will stop and cut off the yarn. So this is what I have so far for my back lace. I just make long foundation chains. So when you have the length you want, you will cut off the yarn, and then we are going to join the panels together. Alright, put your panels together like this. Now both sides of your work look, they are all the same, they are identical, nothing different. So any part of your panel can be the outside, which is the right side of your work. So this one, I'm going to put one of the bra cups over my breast, over my chest, and then I'm going to put a stitch marker where I want to stop joining these panels together. We're going to use our darning needle and the same yarn that you use to make your top. So this is where I want to stop, where you see the stitch marker, where I already put a stitch marker. The amount of chains I have for the first one is going to be the amount of chains for the other, so they should be equal. So I'm going to take the yarn, the same yarn I used for this, and then with my darning needle, I'm going to sew them together. Now just go onto both loops, the first stitch for the first one, and then into the next stitch, go onto both loops, and then start joining them together. So I'm going to make a knot this side, and when I finish, I'll just weave in the ends of my yarn. So go onto both loops, and then to the next stitch, go onto both loops, and then pull up the yarn. Make sure pull it a little bit tight to close it nicely. So this is how we are going to join these two panels together. Just go into both loops, back and forth until you reach the certain point where you want to stop. So I'll just repeat it like this until I reach my stitch marker. Make sure you don't skip any stitch, so you don't have a gap at the center of your work. So repeat this until you reach where your stitch marker is, and then meet it back at the end. Alright, after reaching where your stitch marker is, this is how it's going to look like. This is going to be the right side of our work, but both sides looks okay. So I'm going to leave my yarn for now and my tapestry needle. I'll put the lace at the back of my top, and then I'll put it on my body, and if I see that I still need to close it a little bit at the center, and then I'll do that. I'll just remove the top. I'll mark the place where I want to stop, and then remove the top and close it a little bit again. So don't cut off the yarn after finish attaching it at the center. Just go ahead and attach the lace at the back, and then put your top on and see if the point where you stop joining the panels is okay for you, or you need to join it a little, you need to close it a little bit more, and then you can remove your top and then close it and stop where you feel like stop closing it. So go on and attach the lace at the back of your top, and just do it like that. I want to thank you for being here. If you find this tutorial useful, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and when you finished everything, you just go ahead and weave in the ends of your yarn, and that is the end of our project. If you see that this lace is too long, you can just undo a little bit out of it and leave it to your desired point. So I'll just put this top on and see if I'm okay with the point where I stop joining it together, and then I'll adjust it.